So we continue. As we mentioned in our last video, when we solve the quadratic, it's very important to make sure one of the sides of the equal has to be 0. Okay, because we only can do 0 times anything equal to 0. So next one is similar. L is 0, so I factorize negative 2x. So I make it quick for this time because we all understand that. And I will post and then show you the answer straight away. So now here are all the answer. If you want to double check, so you can pause the video and then check the answer. Alright, I just move a bit. So now so for the second page, we can see this equation, quadratic equation, also have only 2 terms. However, the difference between the current one and the last one is the terms we had previously had both terms has x, but now the new one we only have one of them has x squared, the other one is a constant without any x. So in this case, we need to apply the difference of square formula to solve such questions. It's a squared minus b squared. So we need to make sure the a is complete square and b is complete square like this. So we can see the example and then we do the question. So first one, x squared is what is a squared here, but 25 is not square, so we need to make a square, which is 5 squared is 25. Therefore we have x plus 5, x minus 5 equal to 0. So it's x negative 5 and 5. Secondly will be the same. We have x squared minus 3 squared equal to 0. So x plus 3, x minus 3 equal to 0, x is negative 3, x is 3. And next one, we see the first one we have a 2 there, we have a factors. So we need to factorize the factor out first. So we have 2, and then remain x squared minus 4. And then this 4 doesn't matter because the 2, what we need to focus on is x squared minus 4. We don't need we don't have to worry about the 2. So x squared minus 4 is considered x squared minus 2 squared. So now we have x plus 2, x minus 2 equal to 0. So x is negative 2, x is equal to 2. This 2 doesn't make any difference because as long as the bracket inside is 0, 2 times 0 is also 0. Okay? And another case, we have 9x squared minus 16 equal to 0. So the first term here is not a squared form. We need to convert it. So we have 9, consider as 3 squared. So now the a squared should act like this. Okay, we have a bracket here. And 4 squared is 0. If there's no bracket, it means 9 times x squared. It's not a square form. Alright, so this is need to convert it into something square form, which is 3x. So now we can apply the different square formula. Then we know x is negative 4 and 3, and x is equal to positive 4 and 3. So now the rest of the question, E and F will be similar. I will just show you. So here are the answer. And let's see question G and H. So as we know, we need x squared minus something square. But 5 is not a square number. However, since we have square root, we know that square root of 5 and then square is just normal 5 whole number. So now we can convert it into x plus root 5, x minus root 5 equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to negative 5 root 5 and x is equal to root 5. So now if you want to double check the answer, you can pause the video, and here are the answer of each of the questions. Okay, now here we have another quadratic with 3 terms, and in this case we can use the cross multiplying method. Okay, so for the first one with x and x, 16 is considered as 2 times 8, and then I cross multiply. 2x plus 8x is 10x, which is the same as the middle one. So therefore we write horizontally, so we can make x plus 2 and x plus 8 equal to 0. So x is negative 2 and x is negative 8. So I won't try it, but you can try. I just show you the answer in terms of saving the time. Okay, so you can see, as long as, so let's see this. If the first term x squared has a coefficient rather than 1, we also can do the same thing. We can factorize that 3x squared become 3x times x. And you just see what times what can make 3. I said 1 times 3. And then cross multiply, I have x and 9x. So then you have 10x, which is the same as the middle one. Therefore, we write it horizontally, 3x plus 1, x plus 3 equal to 0. So x is negative 1 on 3, or x is negative 3. Alright? So similar to here, but I don't want to write it down and just need to show you the answer. It will save time. So when you see when I do this, you need to think about it yourself, why I do in this way. Because of doing that is quicker. Okay, so when I talk about this, I actually do math in my mind. Hopefully they are correct. So like 8x squared minus 14x plus 5, because we know the 8 in the front could be 1 times 8 or 2 times 4, so could be vary. Then you need to try that, but with experience you can do it quick. So I show you, because I know the middle number is negative, so even though it's positive 5, so I need to use negative times negative make positive, so that after that the sum of them will be negative. So negative 4x times negative 1 is negative 4, 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x, so overall is negative 14x. So therefore is 2x minus 1, 4x minus 5 equal to 0. So x is half, x is 5 on 4. Alright, last one, second last, 2x minus 3, 3x minus 2 equal to 0. So x is equal to 3 on 2, or x is equal to 2 on 3. Okay, last one will be similar. Okay, 5x and 2x. Okay, and then minus 3. Minus 3, this is positive, plus 3 and negative 2. So x would be equal to 2 on 5, and x would be equal to negative 3 on 2. So hopefully they are correct. And that's all for the answer. Some has working out, some doesn't, but you still can check it whether you do the same as I did. Alright. So for the next question, not all the equation can be factorized. So if in some cases we don't have, then we have a quadratic formula, which is here. We can apply this formula to solve. So A is represent the number in front of the x squared, B is represent the coefficient in front of x, C is the constant. Okay, so there's A, B, and C. What we need to do is we do substitution. 2 times 1 negative 8 plus minus b squared 64 minus 4 times 1 times 3. So therefore we will have 2 negative 8 plus minus square root of 64 minus 12 is 52. So that, but square of 52 can be simplified as 4 times, okay, square root of 52 can be simplified as 4 times 13. 4 can be simplified out, so it becomes 2 root 13 divided by 2. Therefore, we can simplify the 2. So the answer is negative 4 plus minus square root of 13. Okay, we need to know how to simplify. Secondly, similar. We just use a quadratic formula, and then we can do it 25 plus b4ac 16. So therefore x is equal to 5 plus minus square root of 41. And next questions, x is equal to 2 times 2 and then negative 1 plus minus square root of 1 minus negative 16. So x will be equal to 4 negative 1 plus minus square root of 17. And now let's see question D. Question D, because of my experience, I can tell you can factorize it. So therefore, I won't use that method. So I'm not saying you have to use the quadratic formula all the time, but if you can factorize it and you can see the answer immediately, then it's better for you to use the factorizing method because it's much quicker. Okay, next one, because I couldn't see it at once, so I probably believe we can't do it. And so there is 6 over 2 plus minus square root of 40. Square root of 40 consider as 4 times 10 square root, so we can simplify as negative 2 plus minus square 2 root 10, and therefore you can simplify the 2 out, so if 3 negative 1 plus minus root 10. So if you can simplify the square root and simplify the expression, you have to simplify. Okay, the next one will be the same, x times, okay, note we can't factorize that, so 2 times 2, 4 plus minus square root of b square minus 24. So therefore I just write the answer without working it out. Okay, 2 plus minus square root of 10. And the next question, I strongly believe that it can simplify. Therefore x is negative 2 on 5 and x is negative 1. So I hope you can do such questions like I did, because don't you think it's so good, super fast and accurately? That's what you need, these skills to prepare for your year 11 method learning. Okay, here are the solutions, and have a look and pause it if you need to double check your answer. Alright, so now let's move on. After we learned how to solve quadratic, it's about sketching the parabola. So this formula here, you can apply it or not, but because we already can, completing the square and written it as the turning point form. So y is equal to x square minus 2x plus half divided by 2, we need to halve it, so it's plus negative 1x squared minus negative 1 squared plus 3. So y is equal to x minus 1 squared plus 2. Now y-intercept actually is just let x equal to 0. So y is equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 3. Y is equal to 3. And so find the x-intercept if any. So what can we do this question is, because we know the turning point is 1 and 2, right? So 1 and 2 is mean the graph is roughly drawn like this. So it's obvious there's no x-intercept, isn't it? So we don't have to draw it beautiful, but we need to tell myself when we have the turning point. And if there's no, then there's no turning point, we don't have to worry about it. So what we need to do is just, so now we have y-intercept which is 3. Now then we have turning point 1 and 2. Turning point which is 1 and 2. 1 and 2, that will be 1. 1 and 2 should be here. And then you can sketch the parabola like that. So on the graph, if we have y-intercept, we have to label it, and the turning point has to label it. Okay, so that's the rule. And now next one, we write it in turning point form. So in turning point form, which is y equal to x plus 2 completing square minus 1. So the turning point is negative 2 and negative 1. So then we just see negative 2, negative 1 should draw like that. It definitely have x-intercept and y-intercept. So y-intercept is let x equal to 0. So y is equal to 3. Because we just roughly draw the graph, we know there will be x-intercepts, right? So therefore, I can find. So we can use the intercept formula. The x-intercept method, which is what we learned in week 8. So because we can factorize this into x plus 3 x times 1, therefore the x-intercept are x equal to 3 and x equal to negative 1. Therefore on this graph we have, this is 1, negative 1, 2, negative 3. These are the two x-intercept, and y-intercept is 3. And then the turning point is negative 2 and then negative 1. Negative 2 is here, negative 1 could be somewhere here, negative 2, negative 1. And then what we need to do is we just connect all the points we got, so we can draw the beautiful graph at once. Okay, so this is the graph you should have, as long as you have turning point, x-intercepts, y-intercept. Alright, next one. So I write it quick. Y is equal to x minus 2 completing square plus 1. So turning point is 2 and 1. Same thing, 2 and 1 should draw like that. There's no x-intercept but y-intercept. So y is equal to 0 square minus 4, 0 plus 5, which is y equal to 5. And x-intercept is no. We don't need to worry about it. So the graph should roughly draw like x equal to negative 2 and 1, negative 2 and 1, sorry, positive 2 and 1. The y-intercept is 5. And then we can draw it like that. So sorry for the graph, I calculated wrong. It should be the other graph. Okay. So now we have some question like this. So for such question, I haven't thought about that, but it's simple. What we need to do first step is, there's 2 here, I factorize the 2 out. And then I don't need to worry about it. So y will be equal to the 2, just ignore it, okay? It won't make a difference. We just need to complete the square inside. So same method is plus 3 square minus 9 minus 8. So y is equal to 2 bracket x plus 3 square minus 17. And then we expand the bracket, y is equal to 2 x plus 3 square minus 34. Therefore we have the turning point is negative 3 and negative 34. So that's enough. Okay, so the y-intercept is straightforward, it's negative 16. You just sub 0, 0 in. Now because it's negative 3 and negative 34, negative 3, negative 34, the graph should draw like that, isn't it? So there will be x-intercept. How do we find? Actually, we just need to do is that 2x squared plus 12x minus 16 equal to 0. And then if it's complicated, because we have x here and it doesn't seem we can simplify, so we just use the quadratic formula in before. Okay, so I just do it very quick in my mind, and then we will have the answer is negative 3 plus root 17, or negative x is equal to negative 3 minus root 17. So, and next one would be getting the graph, because we have the turning point negative 3, negative 34. So for example, negative 3 is here, negative 34 here. You just need to label it. You don't need to worry about just measuring 34 centimeters. It won't help. And then the y-intercept is negative 16. Negative 16 probably here, negative 16. So you know the graph should draw like that. Why I don't label the x-intercept first? Because here is not a whole number. It's very hard to label. But I know this should be the positive one. So this positive x-intercept should be negative 3 plus root 17. The other one should be the negative 3 minus root 17. And then that's how we draw the graph. And there's the question, what we think. Okay. So the only difference here is we have a coefficient here. And now this is all for our test revision. The next one will be a little bit I didn't talk about that, but we still can make it. So if you want to learn, then you continue to watch the video and maybe have a pause, have a rest, and then start. So if we write in turning point 4, this would be exactly the same as what we did last time, but because we have a negative coefficient in the front, so what I need to do is I factorize the negative first. Then I will have x squared plus 2x minus 3. And then I just ignore the negative as well. And then completing the square inside x plus 1 square minus 4. And remember there's a bracket here. And then I expand the bracket. I will have negative x plus 1 square plus 4. So now here is the turning point form. Exactly the same. The turning point would be negative 1 and positive 4. So y-intercept is 3 is the same. However, the only difference between this question and the previous question is we have a negative coefficient in front of the square. If there's a negative here, the graph, it doesn't draw like the U shape. Instead, it's drawn like the N shape, the opposite. Alright, so therefore we know negative 1 and positive 4 should be drawn like that, still x-intercept. Therefore, we find negative x squared minus 2x plus 3 equal to 0. So therefore, we have x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 1. So you can try to solve it by yourself. Therefore, now we have all the points we need, which is negative 1, 4, negative 1 and 4, the turning point, and y-intercept is 3, y-intercept is 3, and then we have 2x-intercept, which is negative 3 and 1. Then we can draw, based on this graph, we can see the graph is the opposite U shape, N shape. Okay, so as long as you see there's a negative, then it's the opposite. So does this question. The coefficient in front of x squared is negative, then the shape looks like that. But same thing, we need to factorize it first. Otherwise we can't complete in the square. So after we completing the square, we have, so y is equal to negative x minus 2 squared plus 1. So the turning point is 2 and 1. X equal to 2, y equal to 1. Should draw like that, the graph. So x-intercept, y-intercept is negative 3. So we have x-intercept, then I need to solve negative x squared plus 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Then you have x equal to 3, x equal to 1. And then, because we have the turning point, 2 and 1, y-intercept, x-intercept. So we can draw the graph. Turning point is 2 and 1. Y-intercept negative 3. And then we have x-intercept 1. Another x-intercept is 3. So the graph is roughly sketched like that. Alright, so the last page would be extended, and I hope you understand them. And that's all for our revision. Okay, so you can pause the video and check the answer. And good luck.